What kind of job doesn't require a lot of effort but pays very well?
You say, "I'm a Groot," and you get 55 million for it. I could never understand why they brought in Vin Diesel to do it when you could pay a janitor to do the same thing.
The producers felt that the box office receipts from having Vin Diesel's name on the poster would be over $55 million.
A few years ago on the internet, there was an article about a dude whose job was to literally watching paint dry. He worked for a paint company. Paint. The dude said he was bored, but he got paid. It paid him about $70,000 a year. The title, I don't remember the job title, but it's basically a job is to escort people to and from government facilities that require special security clearance. You get paid about 90 grand a year for walking around a building for someone who doesn't have a security clearance, like a janitor, and making sure that he doesn't steal anything. Our staff sometimes have to do this kind of thing, and we get paid about $42 an hour. I've done it before. I've had to do it too. It really doesn't take much effort. But damn it. God damn, it's boring. It's basically mission escort because of Assassin's Creed. Only in real life it makes sense that you're a little bored. Haha. It's the easiest way to make an 8-hour workday. Feels like 12 hours, plus you're always getting slanted by the dudes who do your regular jobs. They think you're a fucking lazy ass who doesn't do anything. A friend of mine works as a security guard at a mine mining. Most of the time, he's just walking around and reading books. He calls himself a paid witness in case of crime. Makes good money for a dusty job as a security guard in the middle of nowhere, far from civilization. It's always a well-paid position, but it's a very boring job. Even security guards in the city don't do much work. They are often seen sleeping on the job. I feel sorry for the security guards at our supermarket. We only have one. And all he does is stand at the exit all day, watching the customers at the checkout line, and he can't sit down or relax, or even move away from the exit. I don't think I could do it every day, but he's kind of okay. A friend of mine worked as a checker of rice. He'd go around the warehouse and check batches of rice, put a handful in a tray, and see how many broken grains there were, how uniform the rice was, and how much any debris in that handful. I asked him what parameters he uses to determine how he knows the rice is good. He said something like, "Yeah, fuck knows, like I'm just deciding, that's all." He shouldn't have any qualifications or no experience in the grain field. He was paid a little $25 an hour, but as far as I think, that's a hell of a lot of money for you to make up your own rules of rice picking.
After that comment, I was suddenly worried about the quality of my rice. But, apparently, you can take a handful of it yourself and decide if your rice is good or not. It's up to you, judge for yourself how much effort you put into it.
I work in the mining industry, and some of the work here can be really hard. But if you work on heavy equipment, it's pretty simple. You drive a truck, and there is little to no other traffic around you, or you sit at the controls and load dump trucks. Our normal rate starts at $30 an hour, but sometimes as low as $20, and you usually have very long weekends. You work 5 on 5 or 7 on 7 for the job. There are certain skills required in a specialized field, but to drive a truck all day, if you're lucky enough to get a great position that requires a special skill, you'll be paid $680 a day, and you'll also get a nice raise for overtime. I'm a barber. I paid $18,000 for the course, 1,500 hours of training, 9 months. I spent the first 7 years of my career learning and doing my job consistently well, and now I make $80 an hour. That's about $112,000 a year. I have clients that we've been working with for 12 years, and most of the time, I feel like I'm with my friends all day. For the last few years, I don't feel like it's work at all. My clients leave me in a great mood and looking great, which makes me feel very good about myself. Frankly, I feel guilty that teachers, nurses, and other vital professions who have spent so much time and money on their education often earn half as much as I do. I was curious about the barbershops I go to, where there are usually 3 masters who charge $20 for a standard haircut. Beard trimming, etc. is paid additionally. It is quite possible that, taking into account the standard tips, their rate is not less than $25 per haircut. They really know their business, so they usually have a lot of people in the place. I have calculated that each barber on average spends about 15 minutes per haircut. Some cut a little longer. They are open 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. Most of it is paid in cash. What they spend: electricity, rent a place, a small amount for supplies, and that's it. Even on a bad day, each barber does about 20 haircuts, and the owner is one of the barbers himself, but I think they all make good money. Now seriously, check out the purchasing positions in most corporations. They contact their suppliers and negotiate contracts, placing orders and so on. I would say that in terms of pay for effort is the best option. Besides, they usually get all sorts of perks like trips to other countries, gifts from suppliers, on holidays, stable working hours, job security and so on. At the moment, I am the only buyer in our company. I stupidly work from home. The previous person set everything up so that I quietly work. Most of the time I work 0.2 hours a day. I would say that I just need to keep everything in working order and do not break anything, because we have already built a long-standing relationship with our suppliers. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel and tell me about any easy jobs you know of in the comment.